bronze 3% is beams at a cake, you need the following ingredients: baking powder, cake mix, water, sugar, and flour. Now, our next lesson is about sponges. Now, sponges are creatures that live in the ocean, which they can absorb liquids such as water, which we call that activity absorption. Now, a lot of people use sponges for decorating, washing, and bathing. Now, our next lesson is about parts of the plant. Now, the parts of the plants are the stigma, the pistil, the ovary, the reticle, the stalk, the ovule, the sepal, the petal, the filament, the anther, and the stamen. Now, our next lesson is about the male reproductive system, or the male and female reproductive cell. Now, the male reproductive cell is the sperm cell. And the female reproductive cell is the ovum, which known as the egg cell. Next are the parts of the eye. Now, the parts of the eye are listed, and they are the cornea, the pupil, the iris, and the lens. Now, the cornea is the front layer of your eye. The pupil is the back dot in the center of your eye that acts as a gateway for light. Iris is the part of typically referred to as your eye color, such as, for example, if you have an iris that is black or blue or brown, it refers to as eye color. Last is the lens. The lens is behind the iris and the pupil. It's like an eye for a camera, or I would call the camera the eye. Our next is the Great Sphinx. The Great Sphinx is a monument in Egypt it is a mythical creature that has the head of a man and the body of a lion. Now, our next Egyptian lesson is the oasis. The oasis is the only water source in Egypt for people and animals to drink from because the desert's temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets so hot that most puddles or other water sources dry up. Next is the periodic table, part 2. Now, to find the electrons of each element in the periodic table, you would add protons plus neutrons equals electrons, which is the equation, or you would say P plus N equals E. Now, our next lesson is about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist who was born in slavery, who had 13 missions to rescue 70 people and led them to the Underground Railroad to escape them from slavery. Next lesson is the Ellis Islands. The Ellis Islands was a port for immigrants. When new immigrants came to America, they were treated badly after the year 1840, which they had to be quarantined, they had customs, and a few immigrants were rejected. They need registration, and some immigrants were kept for medical treatment to make sure there isn't any sickness or illness spreading, or to make sure that they weren't contagious with anything. And also,